Hey guys, today I just wanted to show you a demo using the cable TV pass-through using the Xbox One. It's a really cool feature, and I definitely recommend that you go ahead and do this if you're able to. And what it allows for is if you're in the middle of a game, you can just say Xbox go to TV and it will instantly switch to TV, and it does a whole bunch of other cool features too, which I'll show you in a second. Now what this allows for is that's the main feature, but it also gets rid of the fact when you have to change HDMI ports. So my Foxtel or my cable box is a different HDMI to my Xbox, or it used to be. Now I've integrated it into one, so I don't have to switch between the two, which is really cool. And this is all done by vocal commands. So it's really, really quick and easy to do, and it works, which is great. Now, there's been a little bit of confusion in the Australian community regarding Foxtel or cable boxes, whether the pass-through feature actually works. Well, it does. Now, if you're like me and you had gone on forums, it can become all of a sudden quite complicated, when you read it from someone's text. But I'm going to show you just a couple of very, very basic diagrams. And when I say basic, I mean like 4th grade sort of stuff. So hopefully that will help you to work it out. It only takes 2 HDMI cables to do this. Or if you have a receiver, if you have an amp powering speakers, you just need 3 HDMI cables. So it's a very, very cool, quick setup. Okay, so check out the diagrams now. I'll see you in a second. Okay, here we are, guys. So as I said, it's a very, very basic diagram, which I guarantee is much easier than going to the forums and trying to figure this out. So obviously the cable represents your cable box. Here in Australia, we would call it Foxtel. This box indicates Xbox One, and then obviously TV. Okay, so on my cable box, it's called the Foxtel IQ2. It only has one HDMI out. So this is how you set the pass-through up. So this is step 1. From cable box, you go to Xbox One in. Okay, there's 2 ports on the Xbox One. So from cable box to Xbox One HDMI in. Then from the Xbox, you'll go HDMI out into the TV, okay? And that is as simple as it gets. Now, this would primarily be more functional to people who may have the Xbox One in their room, who don't necessarily have a receiver or an amp to power other speakers. So if you've just got a very, very basic setup like this, you just got an Xbox in your room and a TV, and your cable satellite. Your cable box doesn't actually have to be in your room. You can run a HDMI cable from the lounge room or whatever. So this is a very, very basic setup. And this is all done with 2 cords, 2 HDMI cords, okay? Now, the other way to do it is if you're like me and you do, in fact, have a receiver. Now, as I was saying, I actually have my Xbox and main TV and my satellite box in the lounge room, okay? Therefore, I have a receiver. Now, what the receiver is basically an amp to power the speakers other than, the TV. I don't actually use the TV sound. Okay, so this is still very, very easy. It only takes 1 extra HDMI cord, okay? So once again, we start from the cable satellite box. I have Foxtel. So we go out from the cable box to the Xbox in HDMI in port, okay? Now, the difference is from the Xbox, we go HDMI out, which remember is a separate port, and then we go receiver in. Okay, now you may have different HDMI ins on your receiver. For example, I have game HDMI in, cable HDMI in, TV HDMI in. I chose cable satellite HDMI in. I don't think it really matters, but I just chose cable satellite HDMI in. Now on your receiver, there will be an HDMI out. Now you'll have multiple ins with different names, as I just said, but there will only be 1 out, okay? Well, usually anyway. So from the receiver out, you go to the TV. Okay, so we've gone cable box to Xbox, Xbox to receiver, receiver to TV. Now, as you can see, we've only used three HDMI cords, so it's very, very simple to set up. So if you have a very basic setup, you only need 2 HDMIs. But if you're like me in a lounge room, in a big room, and you have your entertainment center there, this is how you set it up. Very, very simple when you see it in a diagram rather than reading someone's text. Okay. Now, I used to have a Blu-ray player here. I've eradicated that. It doesn't exist anymore because the Xbox actually has a Blu-ray player or DVD player in it. Okay. Now, I will show you a practical demo of how it all works. Okay. See you in a second. So welcome back. Here we are on the main menu of Killer Instinct. What I primarily want to show you straight away is switching between your game to TV or your cable. So it's very easy. All you need to do is, when you're in the middle of a game, you say, Xbox, go to TV. And there we go, we've got Batman. So it's as easy as that. Xbox, go to Killer Instinct. Xbox, stop listening. So as you see, it just threw us right back to where we were in the game. It didn't need to load up again. And what actually happens is, if you're playing a single player game, be it Forza, a racing game, a fighting game, if you're playing single player, what it will actually do is pause the game right where you are. No need to press pause yourself. So if you launch into something else like Internet Explorer or TV or Skype, and then you launch back into the game, it'll lift off exactly where you were, okay, as if you had paused it. So it's a really cool feature. Now, a super cool feature that I want to show you right now is, if you are searching for a game or a lobby, instead of staring at the TV until the Xbox finds a suitable game for you, you can actually switch to another app and you'll be notified when the Xbox has found a match. Now, if you played COD or Battlefield 4, usually this wouldn't be such an issue for you because there's a plethora of people playing online and usually find a server within seconds. But with racing games and fighting games, especially racing games, it might find you a lobby straight away, but usually you have to wait for the current race to finish before you start. So what you can do is, we're going to search for a game on Xbox Live, and then we are going to switch to TV and we'll be notified. Okay. Xbox, go to TV. And soon we'll be notified when it has found a game. And there it is. Xbox, go to Killer Instinct. And there you can see we have found a game with an online opponent. So I'll just quit out of that because I'm not going to play right in front of you guys, because it'll probably be boring. So that's how it works. It's a really cool feature. It's multitasking at its finest, and it's really, really great technology. I wish it came a bit before 2013, but whatever, we've got it now and it works flawlessly, really, really well. Okay, so while we're in TV, we can actually do a bunch of other things too that's not to do with games. Okay, Xbox, go to TV. So here we are watching TV. Now we can say, Xbox, go to Internet Explorer. Browse to YouTube. And there we are. This is as easy as it gets. So, usually when we are, when you're browsing the Internet Explorer, I would highly recommend using the Smart Glass app. You'll find that in the Apple Store, or maybe even on Android. And that's much easier to navigate when you need to sort of type. Okay, so while we're browsing the internet, we can now say, Xbox, go Xbox, oh, sorry, I stuffed that up. Xbox, go to Internet Explorer. Xbox, go to Internet Explorer. Xbox Snap TV. So you can see as we are searching on the internet, we can also have the TV running on the side, which is cool. And we can actually do it the other way around. So Xbox unsnap. Xbox go to TV. Xbox snap Internet Explorer. And there we are. So really, really great stuff. Xbox unsnap. Xbox go to Internet Explorer. Browse to YouTube. Browse to Yahoo. I've never tried that one before. So as you can see, while you're on the internet, you can have, YouTube running in the background, okay? Or vice versa. While you're on Internet Explorer, you can have TV, a visual TV and audio, okay? Xbox Snap TV. Now, there was a couple of concerns of people not quite understanding the volume control, okay? Now, when you're in-game, sorry, I should go to the game. Xbox unsnap. Xbox unsnap. Xbox go to Killer Instinct. Xbox Snap TV. So as you can see, Xbox stop listening. Xbox stop listening. So as you can see, now we have two volumes running at once. We have TV and we have the Xbox system itself. Now, this is quite easily fixed. Some people thought, oh, how am I going to manage these two at the same time? Well, it's quite easy actually. So you have, my Xbox actually runs off the receiver. So it's a master volume. It must obey with whatever the console says it wants to run at. Whereas my cable satellite actually has a controller. I hope that comes into focus. So I can actually turn Batman up there. Okay, turn it down, or I can turn Killer Instinct up further with the master control. Okay, so there's two different control schemes really. Alright guys, I hope you sort of enjoyed that and sort of it gave you an insight if you're thinking about buying an Xbox, the sort of things it can do. Xbox unsnap. Xbox unsnap. Go home. Xbox go home. Okay, so another great feature that I forgot to mention is while you're watching TV, Skype is always running in the background, and if you are watching TV, you can also receive calls the same way that you saw Killer Instinct sort of have a pop-up. Skype will also have a pop-up just like it. Okay, I guess that's about it guys, and I will see you online. So there we have it guys, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration. I really enjoy my new Xbox One. The games are great, but I'm almost just as excited about the console itself and what it does. I mean, it's a smart piece of technology. For example, I bought my smart TV a couple of years ago and there was nothing smart about it. I mean, it had a browser, apps, which it was all pretty hopeless. So for the first time, my smart TV has now truly turned smart, and it's not even the TV doing it. Okay, so it's great technology all around, and the games look fantastic. Okay, I'm really happy with the multitasking. It's just great. Now, as you can see, the voice commands that I was saying to the Xbox, works 70% of the time. It's not perfect by any stretch. But you've got to remember, this is like, within 2 weeks of launch. And for us Australians anyway, the Connect isn't actually optimized to hear Australian accents yet. Okay, now this happened with the original Connect. I had the original Connect, and it was much worse than this Connect 2.0. But we had to wait, I think it was about 3 months before we actually got an update to recognize our Australian accent. So the Connect is trying to hear an American accent, but I'm talking to it in an Australian accent. And for it to work as well as you just saw is very, it's outstanding to me. It really is. And once we get that optimization, I'm really excited for that. Okay, so it's not perfect. It works, about 70% of the time. I hope it works about that for you as well. You could probably see in the video, there was a few commands that it didn't. I had to say twice but for the most part, very exciting technology. I'm very enthusiastic about it. Okay. All right, guys, I hope you hook it all up and have fun. I'll leave you with an ultra combo, 45 hit. Okay. Evening, ma'am.
One step closer to flushing out Ultra Tech.